Hello, welcome back to Be a Better Person. So today we're going to talk about self-love. What? No, not that kind. Silly, it's not that kind of channel. Anyways, we're going to talk about self-love. What that means is loving yourself. You spend more time with yourself than you do anyone else on this planet. You have more internal conversations with yourself probably in one day than you will have with all the people you come in contact throughout the whole week. So we need to make sure that those conversations that we're having are productive, are kind, and that we don't beat ourselves up and bash ourselves as much as we normally do. And we're going to work on this. We're going to try to make a concerted effort to make sure how we talk to each other. Ourselves, not each other, ourselves. Your inside voice and outside voice. Sometimes it feels like you're talking to somebody else, not just yourself. Anywho, the main point is we have to give ourselves grace. We have to understand that we're human beings. We have to be okay with our faults and our flaws. Again, if it's something that we can't change, we don't need to dwell on it. If it's something we can change, let's work on trying to change it. Not saying we have to change it 100% overnight. Not saying that we're never going to go back into some of our old behaviors and our old ways that we talk to ourselves, but just trying to make a concerted effort to be better. So the biggest thing too is lying to yourself. And I've done it plenty throughout my life. Lying about who you are, lying about some of your likes or dislikes, lying to yourself about even situations, how you recall them. You embellish, you do whatever, and then when you really stop and think about it, you're like, that didn't happen. Right? Saying, oh, I'm this kind of person, and then stopping and thinking about the conversations you've had and how you judge other people, and you say, oh, maybe I'm not such a great person that I think that I am. So number one thing is stop lying to yourself. That's the biggest one. You need to make sure that, again, you are honest with yourself. You look at your flaws, whether they're physical or not physical, and that you understand that there's some things you just don't have control over. Like a lot of people really go back and are hard on themselves with their childhood, their interactions then when they really had no control. You couldn't just get up and leave. You couldn't decide, oh, I'm going to go do this instead. I don't want to go to school anymore. I mean, there's things you can't decide. And then once you get 18, you can say, oh, look it, I'm in control. I want you to be in control of your thoughts all the time. I want you to be in control of how you talk to yourself all the time. I want you to understand that you are going to make mistakes. You're going to have fears. You're going to fail. And that is okay. As long as you're not repeating your mistakes, the same ones, over and over and over. And if you are, why? Let's try and figure those things out. So you need to love yourself so fully that it doesn't matter and you don't need anyone else to love you. You need to understand your flaws. You need to not try to be someone else to get approval of others. That you're good enough and that who you are is who you are, and that's okay. And it's good enough. And if nobody else approves, who cares? As long as you love yourself and you're happy with yourself, you don't need to worry about what other people think. You need to embrace yourself. You need to embrace who you are. You need to, again, be honest with who you are. I know I've said that a lot, haven't I? Well, I might say it another 10 times because it's very, very important. You have to talk to yourself with grace, empathy, understanding. And if you can start doing that with yourself, then you'll be able to do that with everybody else who you have contact with, everybody else who you speak with, everybody else who you have interactions with. And you can't just be so hard on yourself. You can't have expectations of what you need to be and compare that to anybody else, because you're not everybody else. You need to go on your own time frame. You need to go on your own path, what you want. Forget about societal programming of what you've been told you should be and how you should act and things that you should do to be successful, to be happy. And you need to just plan and decide on your own. And if you fail, brush yourself off, figure out why you failed, and try again and learn from the failure. again, that's how we learn. And you'll hear me say that over and over and over. Fail, 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 make mistakes, make mistakes. No one is perfect. No one will ever attain perfection. No one will probably even attain 50% of perfection. We make mistakes and have flaws in every day, every day. But if you are cognizant of those things and you try and you make an effort every day to try and be better, to try and do things in a different way. And again, if you fail, it's still okay. It's still okay, because you hopefully will learn and you'll keep growing. And then you'll understand that other people are doing the same thing. Failing is part of the learning process. Imagine if you were right all the time, if everything was perfect all the time. I think life would be boring. I feel like a lot of my adversities and a lot of my struggles and a lot of the things that I've tried to do help build me, help gives me motivation. And like I said, just stop worrying about what the world wants you to be and more about what you want to be. Make sure that you find your passions, and don't lie about what your passions are. Don't think because your parents or your friends or whatever just boom, 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 pound it in about this is what you should be passionate about because you're good at it, or this is no. You have to figure those things out and understand what you want out of the world and out of life, not what the world or life wants you to want or tells you that you should want, not what the television tells you that you want, not what social media tells you what you want, not what your friends tell you what you want, not what your parents, your aunts, your uncles tell you what you want. What you want. It needs to be your decision. So you need to not have negative thoughts. I mean, it's okay. I can say that all day long. I still have them, even though I try to not have them. Again, if I have a negative thought, what am I not happy with? What can I do to change it? Oh, geez, I didn't do that. These are one of the things I said. I try to have, I wake up every morning and try and say a little gratitude thing about what I'm happy with instead of focusing on what I don't have or what, if I'm not where I think I should be. I try to go back and think about what are the positive things. And sometimes I forget. I'll be in the middle of the day and go, oh, I forgot to say my gratitude thing this morning. I forgot to think about my gratitude. And then sometimes I just say, oh, I'm going to say the same thing I said yesterday because I can't think of anything. But I don't beat myself up over it anymore. If I missed it, I just try to do it. I try and find little things that I just do every day to say, oh, this is a problem. I'm a procrastinator. So I'm implementing a new thing where I try to, if I think about something, instead of saying, oh, I'll do that later, or I can do that at 4 o'clock. No, I'll do it now. I'll do it now so that it's done and I didn't procrastinate it. Just remember, you are enough and you're trying your best, and that you got to be proud of everything that you accomplish instead of what you haven't accomplished. Be proud of everything that you do instead of what you haven't done. Be proud of what you have instead of what you don't have. And if we start focusing on those things, I think the whole attitude, you're going to rub off on other people too. They're going to start seeing the change because you're not so hard. You're not mean to yourself. You're not going to be mean to others. You're not going to say, oh, I'm a failure because I did. It's never too late. I'm 58 years old and I'm going to start trying some things that I put off for so long because I just got caught up in what the world wanted me to be and what I thought that I should be. And so now I'm going to do a lot more focusing on what I want and what I want to be, and whether anybody likes it or not. I don't care. I don't care if they don't like it. I mean, I'm not going to try and be rude. I'm not saying be an egomaniac and focus so much on yourself that you can't focus on anybody else. No. What I'm saying though is you should be the most important person to yourself. We were taught so much, or I was taught so much. I can't speak for everybody. I'm sorry if I do that. Don't mean to speak for everybody. I'm saying my programming is that my kids have to be better than I was. My kids have to go to college because that's the only way to be better than I was. They need to have more money. They need to have more stuff. No. My definition of success is to be able to have the time to do the things that I want to do. My happiness one is almost the same thing. If I can get to a point where I don't have to focus and worry on the money, because we all need money. We need money to live. We need money to eat, to be warm, to have shelter. But if I can control how I get that money and the time that I have, it's not about the money. It's about the time that I'm going to have to be able to spend with my friends, with my family, to do the activities that I want to do. That's again, where some of this stuff comes in. So I would really like you, if you can, in the comments, maybe come up with some things that you lie to yourself about, and maybe that we can become self-aware, and some things you can do to change that, and that you can admit to yourself of what you're lying to yourself about, and some things maybe that you don't like about yourself, and you can say, well, I don't like this. Well, is it something you can change? You know, if it's because you don't like your bald spot, I'm not going to get hair plugs. I just shave my head shorter so people don't notice it as much with all the long hair around it. I don't like my jowl chin. I'm not going to go get plastic surgery because it's not that important to me. Now, I don't like my judginess. I don't like if I'm a hypocrite. I try to change those things daily. I don't like that I eat a lot of, or I used to. I'm getting better. Still not perfect. Still have my breakdowns, because you eat delicious things like Reese's Pieces that are terrible for you, but you love them and you've eaten them for years. You're still going to eat them. But I'm trying to eat healthier. I'm trying to exercise more because I want to be around a lot longer. Okay, so mumbling on. Love yourself. Forgive yourself. Figure out your flaws. Embrace your imperfections. Be who you are. Be who you want to be. And don't be ashamed of that. So like I said, in the comments, tell me what you think. Give me some of those examples of yourself and how you've overcome them, if you have, or maybe we can look at what you can do to overcome them going forward. Remember, your smile makes me smile, and I want you to be kind, grateful, and helpful. And you have a great day.